week in a very misty New York City. World heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua and challenger Andy Ruiz Jr. have come head-to-head for the very first time.
On Saturday night, they will clash in this magnificent building behind me, the historic Madison Square Garden.
AJ, MSG, NYC, landing in the USA with an American dream. Whoever the competitor, heading to boxing specters to step up and send a message that there ain't nobody better in the US or wherever, whenever levels are stepping up the road to undisputed. He's going out there to get it done. A new challenge is coming to shape of Andy Ruiz. Can he pack a punch standing in the face of defeat? Float like a butterfly, sting Englishman in New York, about to fight where the grace of before. Once all four belts, gonna have to get wilder. The self-proclaimed running the game, it's about to go down. Can he put the Mexican on the ground? Who's only lost to Joseph Parker in his 33 rounds? I guess we'll see on the night of the fight who's gonna triumph when the UK arrive and turn the Garden to the Lions Den. Let's get ready to rumble!
Joshua v Ruiz is live Saturday night on Sky Sports Box Office.
There is so much to discuss as Anthony Joshua's heavyweight debut in America gets even closer. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by trainer Jamie Moore, who has his own business to take care of on Saturday night. Good to see you, Jamie. Look at this view. Or should I say, we can try and look at this view. It's a little bit misty here on 2:30th on 5th. It doesn't really get any better, does it, here in New York?
No, the atmosphere is great. Obviously, fight week, Anthony Joshua's American debut. You know, you can really feel the buzz. But, you know, what a setting, what a place.
Why do you think they say it's harder in America for British fighters? Why is that?
I think it's getting easier. I think Eddie's opened a massive gateway for British fighters. But obviously the travelling, the time distance, there's loads of different aspects. Americans are obviously going to sort of favour their own fighters in a sense, that they'll look after them a little bit better. So we've had few sort of standout successes over the years, but I feel like they're going to get better and better.
And there's certainly been a real buzz, isn't there, this week?
Yeah, there has. There really has. I mean, I was over here for Canelo fight week with Rocky in December, and you know, it's along them lines. It really is. You know, there's real anticipation to see what sort of performance Anthony Joshua's going to put in.
Absolutely. All right, let's catch up with the events from today's press conference then.
Fighting Andy, for me, is just as dangerous as fighting Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, because they both possess their own skills, and it's a banana skin fight for me in both aspects. So I've got to take Andy deadly serious. I don't overlook him at all. I respect him. I respect his whole team. And I really respect the fact that he put his name on the dotted line to take this challenge.
And those belts look really shiny, really good, man. And you know, I'm just ready. I'm ready for June 1st. I'm ready to become the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. I'm ready to bring those belts back to Mexico. Andy's
gonna come in here, as we all know, and give me a real good fight, cause problems, and it's down to me as a champion to think smart, box clever, and out-skill, out-strength, and out-muscle Andy Ruiz to get that win.
He's a champion, and I'm a fan of him. I respect him, but inside of the ring, there's not going to be no respect.
Right now, I'm only champion till June the 1st, because this is when I have to defend my titles. So I'm currently heavyweight champion of the world. June 1st, I put them up in the air, and they're up for grabs. So may the best man win. I wish you well. Good luck. Manny, good to see you again. And thank you for coming out, and I'll see you all soon. God bless.
Well, a big fight like this requires a big fight commentary team. Adam Smith and Paulie Malignaggi with me. Paulie, let's come to you first. Your immediate reaction to the press conference from a fighter's point of view. What did you pick up on?
It wasn't really a lot of fireworks. They were very respectful, but both guys seemed to mean business. You know, a lot of times, you know, we see in these kind of press conferences where there's not a lot of fireworks, not a lot of trash talk, but both guys are so focused that come fight night, they come to do the business. And I really get the gist from both of these fighters that, you know, they know what's on the line, and there's a lot on the line, and they both obviously come to do the business.
Adam, you've commentated on some huge fights at the Garden. Just wonder from your point of view, doing Anthony Joshua at Madison Square Garden for the unified heavyweight titles, it is something special, isn't it?
It's something very special. Paulie's fought at the Garden a few times, and it reminds me of Nassim Muhammad back in 1997 when he had that shootout with Kevin Kelly. And I know AJ is planning on a certain drama too on Saturday night. Andy Ruiz is going to come and give it everything. He wants to be the first Mexican world heavyweight champion. I think it's going to be all guns blazing. I think it's going to be some atmosphere in there. There's a magic about the Garden, Andy.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
So as we saw there, both of them head-to-head for the first time, but it could have been so different. It should have been Jarrell Miller.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to be disappointed with Miller. Obviously, recently there's been an outbreak of people failing drug tests and stuff, which is, you just can't condone that in this sort of sport. It's too dangerous. So we get a replacement in Ruiz, and it's a decent one for me. He put in a real good shift against Parker, and we've yet to see how he's going to perform against Anthony Joshua. But I think it's on par with a Jarrell Miller opponent. I don't think it's too far off the mark.
So tactically, as a trainer, how would you approach the fight?
Obviously, he hasn't got anything to lose, Ruiz.
Does that make him more dangerous?
In a way, I think when you look at him, he doesn't sort of send fear into your spine. So I think he could be guilty of taking his eye off the ball a little, maybe AJ, but he's too professional for that. I don't think he will. He's going to have to go in there, have a little look at him, but I think inevitably Ruiz's style is a pressure fighter, come forward fighter, and I think he'll be his own undoing in the end.
Well, hopefully AJ's career-defining fights are just around the corner. But with the news this week that Deontay Wilder is going to fight Ortiz again, the question is, will we ever see Anthony Joshua in a ring with the Bronze Bomber?
Well, we all know that the heavyweight landscape is forever changing, but the one fight that we all want to see is between the two heavyweight champions of the world, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Johnny, Matt, great to see you. Matt, can this fight be made?
It can definitely be made. One thing boxing history proves, that when there's enough money in the pot, when the demand for the fight is big enough, fights can get made, whether it's that have to do with dual, network, eventually promoters sit down and they get the job done. Does that happen next? I'm not sure, but it can definitely be made.
And the downside to that is it going on too long, waiting too long. Look how long we had to wait for Pacquiao Mayweather. It just got rolling on too long. Believe me, I think both fighters won it, but I really do think it's the men behind, the businessmen behind these, that are holding it up. You put both in the room, I bet you've got a deal when they come out of it.
Who's the A side, Matt?
I don't think there is an A side in this fight. I think Anthony Joshua is the superstar. He's the one who sold out arenas time and time again. He's the one who's got 3 belts. But this is that kind of fight. This is a super fight against 2 of the most dangerous men on the planet, the 2 knockout merchants. And for me, there is no A side. It's just a 50-50 super fight.
I got to disagree with him.
We like a healthy debate.
You've got to look at it this way. You look at Anthony Joshua. Say, for instance, you put Anthony Joshua in Wembley Stadium. If he didn't box Tyson Fury, I'd say he'd fill at least 60,000 people at least. You put Deontay Wilder in Wembley Stadium, you've probably got 20,000.
Or at home in the Barclays Centre here.
That's what I'm saying. So basically, it's about attraction. It's bums on seats. People that want to watch, want to get involved. And I don't know what these guys are getting paid, but I have a funny feeling Anthony Joshua, the brand of Anthony Joshua, all of a sudden makes what Wilder's doing very minute. So he knows he's the A side. That's where the dough is.
But do you know what it is? I think we're getting away from the sport of boxing, and I know the businessmen have to be businessmen, but I want to see the fighters be fighters.
Yeah.
I want to see Anthony Joshua just want to fight Deontay Wilder because I want to prove I'm the best man.
As fighters, we get that.
But boxing's not just about the fighters.
It's not about splits and A sides.
Rightly or wrongly.
At the end of the day, this is the fight. It's the fight that's the attraction. They're both attractions in their own right. Maybe, Joshua's star is above Deontay Wilder's, but he's definitely growing.
Joshua's got 3 belts.
Let me put it to you this way, though. Has the Dominic Brazil knockout that was scored by Deontay Wilder, has that swung momentum? Has that swung momentum back towards Wilder? So he would sit down and say, "Well, look, I'm the one that's network. I'm putting these knockouts, these explosive knockouts. Everyone's talking about me at the moment."
I mean, in boxing, you're as good as your last fight, and you're as bad as your last fight. And his last fight was an absolutely spectacular, devastating first round.
I heard this
KO.
earlier on. Anthony Joshua with 22 professional fights. He look at the position he's in. Look at the position Wilder's in with 40 plus fights. And Joshua's one saying, "Give me these fights at this stage in his career." Anthony Joshua, I think, as far as he's concerned, he's getting his job done. He's beating everybody they put in front of him, regardless of what fashion. You look at the level of opponents that Wilder's had compared to Anthony Joshua. How many world beaters, how many true danger fighters has he had to get into the ring with to get such a record? And that's how you got to balance it up.
But it still comes down to, it's not about, I've got the better resume, I'm the A side, I'm the B side. Just fight. You're the 2 best heavyweights. Just fight. You know what I mean? That's what the fans want to see. Let the businessmen work it out. Where there's a will, there's a way. But, Mayweather Pacquiao, Showtime HBO, Tyson Lewis.
I believe
It
the
can get
fighters
done.
want the fight.
I love
it's
the
the
fact that-
businessmen behind.
I love the fact that you're living in an ideal world, which we don't live in the boxing world. Okay, in a word, who wins? In a word.
All-rounder Anthony Joshua. All-rounder Anthony Joshua.
One word. Joshua.
I felt like you paused a little bit there.
I know.
Because speak your mind. It's a debate. Speak your mind. No one's going to crucify
I can see on the right day. I can see Wilder beating Joshua on the right day because with shots like that from that angle is so unorthodox. But Brendan used to say the guys that don't know how to fight are the ones that are the most dangerous fighters. And Wilder is so unorthodox in what he does. I can see him pulling it off. But Joshua's an all-rounder. He can bang, he can box, he can move, he can jab. So that's what you're going to put it down to.
I think it's probably a genuine 50-50 fight because both have got the power to knock each other out. I mean, on the heavyweight division as a whole, let's not forget Tyson Fury. I think he's the most naturally talented. He's the cleverest, the most skillful. Joshua's the superstar, probably the most all-round full package.
And the biggest
But then the Wilder's got that most dangerous point.
Don't forget the bogeyman. Dylan White. Don't forget the bogeyman.
Well.
He's hovering in the shadows.
Yeah.
Like it, guys. Heavyweight opinions. That's what we like on this show.
Interestingly, Jamie, the fans want AJ Wilder, not Wilder Ortiz.
Yeah, exactly, and so do I. And I think every boxing fan in the world wants to see that fight. Hopefully, we're going to see it in the next 2 or 3 fights because it needs to happen now. We don't want a Mayweather Pacquiao situation. But I'm sure the teams are going to sort that out in the background. But it is frustrating.
The boys are picking AJ to win. If we ever see AJ Wilder, who wins in your opinion?
I think AJ wins. All being wild and hitting the jackpot and unleashing that right hand. But it really is a toss of a coin.
Let's hope it does happen. All right, coming up after the break, plenty more to come, including this confident lot.
Tell us why you against Chris Algieri's going to steal the show.
Because I love a war and so does he. Style. That's it, style.
I think that itself is going to steal the show, just becoming undisputed champion of the world.